Hello. Once again, guys. Today, we are going to watch Last Call for Istanbul movie. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This movie has the best plot twist ever. Today's movie starts with Mohammed's journey from Istanbul to America. We see the luggage conveyor belt as passengers collect their bags. Mohammed picks up his suitcase and heads to collect his passport. While he's doing this, he notices a very beautiful girl also collecting her documents, likely her passport too. She sees Mohammed, finds him handsome, and realizes he's also looking at her. Mohammed feels a strange sensation, almost as if he has fallen in love at first sight. He thinks to himself, this must be the girl I've been searching for. Meanwhile, a passenger mistakenly picks up a yellow suitcase, the same color as hers. When she opens it to check her belongings, she realizes it's not her suitcase and calls for security. Security asks, "Are you sure these aren't your belongings?" "Yes, I'm sure," she replies. "Did you check all parts of the bag?" Security inquires. "Yes, I checked everything," she confirms. This becomes Mohammed's lucky moment. He sees her needing help and immediately steps in, using the opportunity to get to know her. He asks, "Are you looking for your belongings?" She answers. When Mohammed asks if she is Turkish, he gets embarrassed and says, "I didn't mean to be rude, but you spoke Turkish suddenly." He then asks if the suitcase has any contact information, so they can reach the owner. She confirms it does, but mentions it's slightly damaged. They find a name, Chris, on the suitcase and try calling the number. Unfortunately, it's a store that answers in Chinese. Mohammed decides to find the owner's location and takes the chance to get to know her better. He tells her, "The address is near Chinatown. Since you might not know the way, I can take you there as it's on my route." Understanding he wants to help and perhaps get closer to her, she says, "Are you sure you're going to Chinatown?" He replies, "Does it matter? Let's go." On their way to Chinatown, she wonders, what would I have done if I hadn't met this man today? When they arrive, she asks if the bag belongs to them. The woman there confirms, "Yes, it's my husband's suitcase. Thank God." "Wait, my suitcase got switched with your husband's," she explains. The woman, not understanding, calls her son to translate. He explains the mix-up and calls his father, who is at the Marshall Hotel. Mohammed and the girl head to the hotel together. On the way, she buys food from a street vendor and tells Mohammed, "This is on me." He jokes, "I've found a new way to fund your trip to New York. Are you flirting with me?" She asks. "No, don't misunderstand. I'm married too," he responds. When they arrive at the hotel, she asks the receptionist, "Is Mr. Chang here? I'm looking for him." The receptionist replies, "He called and said he'll be here tomorrow with his suitcase." Mohammed asks if they can contact Mr. Chang urgently, but the receptionist apologizes, saying she doesn't have his number. The girl decides to book a room, and the receptionist assumes they are married and offers them the most romantic room, the Marilyn Monroe suite. The girl is taken aback but agrees. At check-in, the receptionist asks for their passports. The girl thanks Mohammed and says, "This is where we say goodbye. I've delayed you long enough. Don't thank me." She asked him, "Can I have your number?" He responded, "What will you do if the suitcase doesn't arrive tomorrow and you don't have a phone?" She admitted, "I don't know what we could do." Mohammed thought for a moment and then approached the receptionist. "Could I book a room too, please?" The receptionist replied, "Sure, you can have John's room since you're a handsome young man." The girl asked him, "Are you sure?" The receptionist interjected, "I'll need your passport, please." Mohammed handed over his passport and said, "I've come all this way. I deserve to rest in John's room for a while." The receptionist smiled. "Thank you. My name is Rose. I recommend you try the jazz bar on the rooftop. They have the best events every evening in New York." The girl thanked Rose, and Mohammed added, "I think I'll head to the rooftop to try a drink since Rose recommends it so strongly. Would you like to join me?" She declined. "I'd rather not. I'm tired and need to rest." The girl then asked, "Didn't you say you're married? Won't your wife be suspicious?" Mohammed assured her, "Don't worry. I'm not the kind of man who would cheat on his wife." She seemed skeptical. "That's just talk." "No, I know myself, and I trust her," Mohammed responded confidently. Now, dear viewers, let's see if he can keep his composure around this attractive woman. Mohammed then said, "I'm heading to the rooftop. You're welcome to join me if you change your mind." Later, the girl called the hotel and asked if she could buy some clothes on the hotel's account until her suitcase arrived. The hotel agreed. That evening, Mohammed was on the rooftop. They both drinking their rooms to fresh. She appeared in a beautiful dress, and it was evident from the start that he was very attracted to her. A waiter complimented her. "You look very beautiful, like a rock star." She teased the waiter to annoy Mohammed. "Your hair is lovely." The waiter replied, "Thank you. Can I get you something to drink?" She asked for a suggestion. "What do you recommend?" He suggested, "Our margarita is excellent." "Perfect, I'll have one," she agreed. Turning to Mohammed, the waiter asked, "And you, sir? A beer, please." Mohammed replied. They started talking, and he asked her what she did for a living. She explained, I collaborated with a brand in Milan, then London, and now I'm here. That's impressive. You're very professional, Mohammed complimented. They toasted. Cheers to you, Ryan, she said. And to you, Samantha, he replied. We'll have a great time together until tomorrow, she smiled. As they got closer, she asked, Aren't you tired of your wife? If I were tired, I wouldn't have married her. If I ever felt the urge to cheat, I'd get a divorce immediately, Mohammed answered. She joked, Do you believe me? Sometimes, not always. Only when I drink. I actually quit smoking a while ago. Let's get out of here. They took a bus and started to act like they were in a relationship, even though they both pretended to be married. On the way, an artist sketched them together, making it seem like they were a couple blowing kisses to each other. When they got off the bus, the artist asked for money. Mohammed gave him money, but as the bus moved, she got upset and walked away, feeling like he did it on purpose. She wandered off alone among the homeless in the street, who started to harass her. Meanwhile, Mohammed tried to get off the bus and find her. She ended up in a street full of homeless people and thieves who wanted to harass and rob her. Mohammed, desperate to find her, asked someone for directions and ran quickly to her location. When he found her, one of the thieves was trying to rob her. Mohammed intervened. Leave her and take what you want from me. Shut up and give me your money, the thief demanded. She's my wife. Leave her alone, Mohammed insisted. The thief was surprised, but Mohammed gave him all his money to let her go. The thief took his wallet and left her alone. Afterward, Mohammed asked her, Are you okay? She nodded, and Mohammed instructed, Wait here and don't move. He went back to the thief, punched him, and warned, If you try this again, I'll punch you in the face. Later, they went out together, joked, danced, and drank at a nightclub, having a great time. Serena even performed a show like the girls in the club, and the audience loved her. When they left, they did a live broadcast on TikTok and were very happy together. Afterwards, they returned to the hotel and spent a wonderful time together in the same room. After spending a wonderful time together, she woke up and told him that the game was over. He kept calling for her, but she walked away and went into her room. We then see a waiter telling Mohammed that the suitcase has arrived at the hotel. When she opened the suitcase and charged her phone, we notice that she has a photo of Mohammed on her phone. She made a call to someone named Eda Arikan, and we also see Mohammed talking to the same person, Eda. Mohammed says to Eda, I tried to call you yesterday, but you were busy. Anyway, the trial date has been set for the 20th of next month at 11:30. At this point, we understand that Mohammed and our friend, let's call her Serena, are actually married and want to separate. The lawyer, Eda, tells Serena that they don't need witnesses and that only Mohammed will be present. Serena then looks at her phone and remembers all the good times she spent with Mohammed. She says to herself, I knew that there was an important story that would bring us together. That was my feeling. This was essentially the beginning of their relationship. Mohammed recalls that when he fell in love with her, she already had a boyfriend, but he still asked her to come with him. She left her boyfriend and went with Mohammed on his motorcycle. She saw Mohammed's house. Mohammed loved her and didn't want her to leave. She tells him, My father wants to meet you, and don't worry, you will get along. Her father tells Mohammed that Serena gave up her future for him, and her future would have changed if she went to America. He asks Mohammed, How long will you keep working in music? Get a real job and be a man. Feeling worthless, Mohammed started working at a company, wearing a suit and formal attire. Serena was very happy and excited about his new job. She says, We then notice that Serena designs trademarks and that her drawings are beautiful and precise. Mohammed says she has her own space and is always organized. Serena discovered a website with designs similar to hers and called the owner of the site. He tells her that they didn't do anything wrong, but she insists that it's the same design, just with different colors. The company stole her ideas and fired her, making her very angry and causing her to start smoking. Determined, she worked on new designs and sent them to New York. Mohammed found out that she applied to a fashion studio called Vargand without telling him. They argued and fought over the phone while Mohammed was at work. He says she was always stubborn and disagreed with him on everything. When he came home from work, she wasn't there. She thought that whenever she took pictures, he would get annoyed, jealous, and they would argue. He told her, You don't care about my musical instruments and put your things on them, even though you know it's a sensitive issue for me. She replied, Goodbye, I have work, we'll talk another time. When the photographer called her, she said she was coming and didn't care about her husband. She told him, I'll finish my work and we can talk when I get back. He replied, Maybe you shouldn't come back. Do you think this house is a hotel? I'm hanging up now. Goodbye. She continued her work, and when she returned, she told him, don't do that again. Please, don't annoy me. He responded, you should be a homemaker. Where do I fit into this household? He accused her of drinking, and she reminded him that he told her not to come back home. The argument continued for a long time. She then checked his phone and found a message from his friend saying, I wish you had been with me yesterday. Serena was waiting for him to wake up and told him, explain this to me. He said, I haven't seen her in years. If I were doing something wrong, I would have set a password on my phone. She asked, what happened between you two? He replied, I took her home because she was drunk. He insisted he didn't send anything, but she was the one sending pictures every day. It's not my fault, he said. Serena responded, she's interested in you. He replied, I didn't do anything wrong. She said, our relationship is over. Took off her ring. She wrote him a letter saying, that's enough. We can't continue like this. I don't have the energy to listen to you or for you to defend yourself. In court, the judge told them, I'll ask you one question. Think carefully before answering. If you met now, would you love each other again? Serena said, we won't go back to how we were. Maybe we won't even like each other. The judge said, this is the final session. I have a suggestion for you. Go to the airport, pretend you don't know each other, meet for the first time, and fall in love again. They agreed and met each other at the airport as if for the first time. They fell in love all over again. Serena said, we were as happy as we were before. We talked in a way we hadn't in a long time. She added, I can't forget last night, but I'm sure that as soon as we get back, we'll start fighting again. While they were arguing, he told her, I'm not suffocating you, Serena. He said, we are going to get a divorce, and they began to set a date. She told him, I'll be late. He replied, everything is more important than me, even your work. He quit his job and returned to music. He sent her a letter saying, I might not be the man you deserve, but I was always afraid of losing you. We had to part ways over time. Could we have blamed each other? He told her that couples argue as they grow older. He said, I wished we had a home filled with love and work, and that was my belief. While she was at work taking pictures, she changed her mind and went back to the airport. At the airport, they told her she was not allowed to board. He also said he wouldn't get on the plane, and suddenly he saw her. She said, I understand why you were angry. I'm sorry. They told him, we'll only let your wife board the plane. At that moment, I was happier than they were, to be honest. They started a new journey as if they were newly married. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to tell us a movie name you think will be suitable for a video.